You reduce the volume or something like that. Okay, so thanks for coming. It's such a precious commodity, time and presence. You have given me both. Very grateful. I hope I make your time worthwhile. Now, because we are short of time and Kapil and Chhavi have also got to go, so I'll just go about it quick in the sense we keep it compressed to the time we have. I'm thinking of an hour and a half session, but hopefully maybe we can get done earlier. So I'll start with my introduction. I'm a psychotherapist, an author of the book, Every Individual's Counseling, Couples Counseling. I'm a mindful living teacher. I've been trauma informed through a course called Compassionate Inquiry. So those are some of the things that I do currently. Where I began, you'll have to read my book. Okay? So that's about me. So quickly, let's have a very brief round of introductions. Share your name. What do you do? I mean, I know you all, but just so that everyone else knows everybody. And in one sentence, what brings you here? Okay, whoever wants to go.
Brings us here, I think, to this day, right?
Like to discussions, maybe curiosity, maybe something, or maybe some outcome, whatever. Just one sentence, just so that, yeah.
So my name is Chavi, everyone. I have my own marketing consultancy firm where we help freelancers, coaches, consultants grow their business online. What brings me here is one, the topic, of course, like know your inner self. So I think that's an ongoing journey. You always learn something about yourself from workshops, trainings, books, etc. So you have to be kind enough to take it. And secondly, because we have eavesdropped some of your conversations with your friends, that was nice. So yeah, I'm sure I'm going to learn something really nice here. So that's why.
Thanks. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kapil here. I work with Chhavi. I do the same thing that she does. And yeah, motivation for being here is, of course, we've been listening to you, counsel your plans as well. So yeah, your even your coaching style seems very methodical and very patient.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure whatever you are sharing here will be quite valuable, and that's what we are here to basically seek your guidance and knowledge.
Thanks for being here.
Hi everyone, I'm Leanne, and I met Govind and Rakhi I think last weekend at a book reading, a friend book reading. So when he sent me the invite, he actually mentioned if it's something that, fits you, if it's of your interest, I hope to see you there. And it's my curiosity that got me here, honestly.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, Mayur, your turn.
Lucky you can start.
So hi, everybody knows my name, but for the sake of it, I'm Rakhi and I live in Gurgaon. And I'm here firstly supporting Govind, and secondly, it's a inner inquiry. And I think no matter how much inquiry you do, it's always insufficient because every time something or the other is happening. So that's something.
Hi, I'm Anisha. Everyone knows me here, and what brings me, I work for Nomad Connect, and what brings me here is again the class, the counseling thing that you were happening, and constantly for me it was like, okay, what's happening? And the way you did it, like I see a lot of people doing these things, but for you, it was like you know what you're doing, right? It looked very like you just knew how it went in the flow, and that's what when you asked me about to have this session, I was like all in for it. Yeah, over to you.
Yes, Mayur, I run my club. Um, we love to have sessions like this where we feel enriched and we get people together. There is net positive result on everything. So thank you for that. Uh, for me, I think I'm an innate curious person. So I like to meet new people and I'm curious about myself and about the world. So it's perfect.
And so, welcome all of you. for coming. And I think one common theme I hear from all of you is curiosity. And that's a very important part of what we are going to uncover today. Um, the topic of today is Thrive, which is based on the title also of my book, and the subtitle is Discover Your True Self. So to share a little bit about my journey, uh, like whatever I share, one of the things you'll say, it flows very easily. I know what I'm talking because what I'm sharing comes from hard-earned lived experience. Okay. I have had a dysfunctional family upbringing. I have had made wrong career choices. I'm a chartered accountant. I have had addictive behaviors around my sexual impulse. I've been addicted to pornography. There's a part of my life there was promiscuous, and all of that is in the book. Even though it's easy for me to say it's in the book, but to reveal all of that in my book has been a huge journey of overcoming my shame and around all of this. So. So I think by God's grace, when I was in the depth of despair, and we all go through these challenges of finding ourselves, I was sent to a yoga community and I spent 5 years of my life there teaching yoga. And that's where this whole self-transformation happened for me. And I literally rewired my brain using certain practices and tools. All of that is mentioned in my book. But I think one thing I can say is when you really know yourself, it feels very easy to be in your skin. And I think at the end of the day, that's all what we all want. We want to feel easy, we want to breathe easy. And when that happens, it kind of percolates into every area of your life, whether it's your work flow, whether it's your relationship, it flows, whether it's community. And this has been my lived experience. Not that I've arrived or there's a halo behind my head. The only thing behind my head is my baldness. Uh, but challenges remain, but they are not abnormal challenges. They are like challenges. And you also have the skill sets to deal with that. So that's very briefly about me. So now coming quickly to the topic, thrive, discover your true self. So when you say true self or self, we keep using myself, I, me, myself. This is like most commonly used word used in our vocabulary. Who are we referring to? Quick answers. Brief. And okay, in the interest of time, if any of you is going on a longer, is it okay if I have your permission to interrupt you? Okay. So when you say self, what comes to your mind? Inner soul, okay. Consciousness, look the body, what? Inner soul, consciousness. Okay. Or
My innate nature and also soul, because that's who I am. Soul that has this body.
soul, innate nature, consciousness. Yes, Mayur, what do you understand when you say the self?
The belief system, because who you are is a part of the belief system, right?
So what do you believe?
Yeah, what do you believe?
What do you
are?
believe? Who do you believe you are? Okay. So whatever you say, soul, consciousness, innate nature, what I believe I am, I'll do a small experiment. I'm going to take a small detour and then we'll come back to the self. Tell me what you know about sugar. Sweet and
Goes well with tea, coffee.
does well with tea, coffee,
Gives you bursts of energy.
gives you burst of energy.
So I can color.
You can already
My favorite way.
satisfies your cravings.
Spoils my kids.
Okay, all of that.
It releases oxytocin.
It releases oxytocin. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pass these small packets, and I want you to just take a little bit. If you want to take more, it's up to you, and pop it into your mouth, on your tongue, and then we'll have a conversation around your experience.
Because I don't like getting sugar.
Yeah, I know. So, just one
Teeny tiny
teeny
bit.
tiny granule, that is more
We are
than
taking one packet should be enough. Oh, not. I think I need more. Give them.
Kapil is definitely not shy of having it. Okay, so sugar.
I wish this was then something
Huh?
like tiramisu. I mean, sugar by itself is not.
No, I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to experience what's there on your tongue. Take your attention there.
And then next question should be Pakora.
So what was the difference between what you were telling me about sugar and when I said just take your attention to your tongue? What did you notice? What's the difference between these two?
Sweet, I feel like multiple more flavors, except for sweetness, I feel a little bit like.
That's because of Pakora's thing.
If you didn't have to say a single word, would you still know what that experience is? If you didn't have to say a single word about sugar, and if you put those granules on your tongue, would you still know what that is? Yes? Yes. And if you've never tasted sugar, you can talk everything about sugar, but will you still have the experience of it? No. So coming back to the self, you can tell me it's Atma, it's consciousness, it's my innate nature, it's my beliefs, it is my role, my identity, my nationality, my religion, my this, my work I do, this, that. What are those? Huh?
Experience.
Words.
Words. Aren't they words? Aren't they just abstract, conceptual words that you are using to describe this notion called me? Without these words, would you exist?
Yes.
Sure. How would you know you exist?
It's just words, right? Your experiences. Your experiences.
So what are you experiencing? Like you experience sugar, now you didn't need a single word to experience what that is. That's it. You don't even have to talk about it. In fact, tend to talk more when you have less experience. So when you talk about yourself, no matter whatever you may say some lofty thing, consciousness, or you may say I am a husband or I am a manager or whatever. Does that really, what is it really saying? Is that an experience of who you truly are? And if you have to really taste yourself, just like you tasted sugar, what would that mean? If you have to really experience yourself, what would that mean? Beyond the words and concepts and ideas and intellectualization. Because you say you exist, even if you don't open your mouth, you exist. Open your mouth means words. So which means you give me a proof that you exist. What is the indication that you exist? No one in workshop would have ever asked you this question. Say I am this, I am that, but I'm saying just give me simple that you are existing, that you are alive right now. How do you know that? Huh?
The fact that we're breathing.
Okay, you're breathing. Is that the only thing?
Fact that you can see us, you're.
The fact that
Yeah, that you can see us,
so if I can see you, that means you're alive. Is it?
The fact that my senses are alive.
Your senses, so what senses are the five senses, so that you can see, can hear, sound is registering, taste what's happening, some smell is happening, touch, five senses, breath. Anything else? Indication that there is life happening here.
Major consciousness.
So what would that mean?
Other than what my five senses tell me, but then that is that is then processed by my brain and I'm conscious about what is happening around or that I'm in this place.
Yeah, so you know you're in this place because there are these five senses. There is the breath. Is there anything else that is making you realize that you're conscious, that you're existing, that you're alive?
The fact that you will think thoughts
That I have this radio which starts in the morning without my permission and goes on till night without my permission, and I have simply no idea how to switch it off. That's an indication life is happening. Anything else?
Feelings like hunger, thirst.
Hunger, thirst, impulses.
Yeah.
So what would you call that under one category? Where do you experience all of that? Huh?
In the body.
In the body. So what do you experience in the body? Sensations. Sensations can be around hunger, thirst, tiredness. Emotions are nothing but sensations. Anger is a sensation. Fear is a sensation. Also, when you give it a name, fear, anger, but if you go down to it, then it's just a sensation. So then, indication that you beyond the words, it means what? That you are experiencing. What are you experiencing?
yourself,
Sorry?
yourself.
And yourself is made up means you're experiencing what? What? Your emotions, feelings, sensations, life inside the body. But essentially, what we just spoke about, you're experiencing your breath, you're experiencing your thoughts, you're experiencing the five sensations, you're experiencing the sensations in the body. So, when you are aware of these, means you are experiencing and you're tasting, you're tasting yourself. And not taste, you're not lost in your concepts and ideas and notions and words, but you're really tasting this life. The question is, how much do you taste it? Where is your attention most of the time? Which self is your attention in most of the time? The wordiness, the concepts, the ideas, the notions, the past, the possible future, or this experience of life happening right now. So take a moment, and if you feel like closing your eyes, you can do that and experience yourself. And it's not even yourself, it is just the experience of life happening through this body which you have assumed as you. Notice the sensations in your body, notice your breath, notice if your eyes are open, you can see, take notice of the sight. Take note of the sounds, including the sound of my voice. If there are any thoughts passing by your mind, take note of your thoughts as well. This is the experience of life happening right now. This is the self which is present all the time, but our attention is consumed by our abstract idea of ourselves, of who we think we are. And see what it feels like to taste your own self, to experience this life without which nothing would happen in our life. This life that we seem to tend to take for granted. Deep breath in and exhale. Another deep breath in and exhale. slowly and gently at your own pace, with your eyes are closed. So gently open your eyes and come back to this space and to this room. How did it feel to taste yourself?
Relaxing.
Sorry?
Relaxing.
Relaxing. What else?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing, man. Okay. Yeah.
Sit calm, like calm, no external like distracting or yeah, just that plain peace, calm.
Relief. So, if you ask anybody, what do you want in life? Like I've done workshops and taught, everyone will say, मुझे मन की शांति चाहिए. It's like a common answer. No matter whatever else gymnastics they are doing in their life, but bottom line, मन की शांति चाहिए. तो मन की शांति कहाँ है? When you are in when you're tasting your true self. So that is, but you can also get into this, go into your true self, मन की शांति. But कभी ना कभी तो आँख खोलनी है. कभी ना कभी तो नोमैड गांव के बिल्स पे करने हैं. कभी ना कभी तो कोई चीज को डील करना है. तो यू कांट डू दिस. अभी मॉनेस्ट्री में गए तो बात अलग है, और वहां पर भी नहीं मिलेगी मन की शांति, वहां पर भी पॉलिटिक्स होगा, आई एम श्योर. तो फिर यू हैव टू डील विद लाइफ. हाउ कैन यू डील विद लाइफ not from this head space of ideas and conditioning that you had, not from a space of escape like man ki shanti, but from a space which is more deeper and grounded, which is the self. So that is going to be the inquiry. But the first step to discover your true self is to ask yourself the question which Rakhi is going to write on the whiteboard. I'm going to leave you with 3 questions, and those are the toolkit that I'm going to offer you. So the first question you must ask yourself is, what do you think is the first question? What is the question you need to ask yourself to bring your attention to tasting yourself? What did you do just now? Huh?
Are we living now?
No. When I gave you those instructions, what was it trying to bring, where was it trying to bring your attention to? So what is the question you need to ask yourself? Whenever you're lost in the hurry of life and you're
Am I in
finding
the present or am I thinking about the past?
so what question can bring you to your true self? Not your conceptual idea of self, but the self where life is happening. What is the question?
Am I in the moment? Yeah, am I in the present?
Okay. What is happening?
Right.
What is happening right now? Whenever you are lost, this is your first question is your life around. What's happening right now? And then for coming back to the right now, what will you check? What's happening right now? 8 elements. I gave you 8 elements. What are the 8 elements of life? Breath, thoughts, sensations, and
Five senses.
5 senses. There is no life other than these 8. If you come across anything, let me know. Life is just these 8 elements put together. Sensations, thoughts, breath, 5 sensations. That's an ability. So if you're ever feeling ungrounded, that's because your mind stories have subsumed you into believing that's who you are. So whenever you are anxious and lost, other than reaching out to me for a therapy session, you can ask what's happening right now. Let me see something. Let me touch something. Let me sense something. Because when you're with the self, you come back home. Why do we all have that common experience? Relax, calm, because this is ground. That is insecure conditioning, past, present, future. So the first question to ask yourself, what's happening right now? Then, now how do we marry these two things, which is either you can close your eyes and you can go into samadhi, which is not going to help you pay your bills. Okay. The other is to get into constant overthinking, which is also not helping either way. Uh, how can you deal with your life situations from a more grounded space is the inquiry, is what I want to give you a taste of. So the question I'm going to ask you right now is, and if you want, you can write it on your phone or wherever you are, you can take note. What's alive for you right now? I'm going to I'm going to unpack that question in other ways. What is happening in your life right now, which is taking your attention? I'm sure something is happening. There's never a time in life में कुछ drama नहीं हो रहा होगा. कुछ ना कुछ तो होता ही रहता है. So what is happening in your life right now that is where you're engaged, where your attention is, whatever that may be, dilemma, conflict, emotion, whatever, I don't know, you know that best, and we're not looking for you to share this. You can just note it down for yourself.
This is similar to the question number one. Like what is happening?
What is happening right now? Yeah, we are going with that. What's happening right now? So we are saying like we are always dealing with something in our life. So how can what is our mode of dealing with that? How can we deal it with a more grounded awareness? So take a moment and write down whatever is happening in your life right now, which is alive for you, which is engaging you right now, which is a source of your attention right now, what something that you're dealing with, whatever it may be, any life situation, any emotional situation, whatever. You know best whatever is you're engaged with right now. After you can write it in maybe 3 4 sentences, not the whole thing, but you get a sense of what is it. And if you have more than, you can, I'm sure there may be also 2 or 3 things you may be dealing with. But for the purpose of this session, choose one, which is the most, like, on the topmost priority.
Because I think they're
Okay, if
renting space
they are
in my,
interrelated, fine, okay, you can choose 2, that's fine.
they're renting equal space in my head, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's joined.
Instagram.
Right?
I think Instagram was in my mother's. She do fetish.
हो गया लिख के
Yes.
सबका Mayur, you noted?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, what's your relationship with what's happening right now?
That's the thing.
Yeah, no, don't note it down. It's a question. Whatever is happening right now, you noted it down. What's your relationship with it? Are you able to, okay,
Yeah.
are you able to acknowledge what's happening right now? Are you able to accept what's happening right now? How many of you are able to acknowledge and accept what's happening right now? All of you? Is there any resistance to accepting what's happening right now? Any of you? That's fine too. Give me your authentic answer. Hmm?
So with one of them, I vision since I vision too.
Uh,
Like I feel, I mean, that's a demon, but sometimes I find myself snuggling with it. Sometimes I'm wrestling with it.
So when you're struggling and wrestling with it, what's your relationship with it?
I still acknowledge its presence and I know it's
You know it's there,
Yeah.
but what's your relationship with it? Are you able to accept it as
frustration.
frustration? So in a way, what that frustration is saying, I wish it wasn't there.
Really, I want it to be there.
You want it to be there.
Yeah, for whatever it is, I want it to be
You
there.
want it to be.
Yeah.
So none of you is resisting what is happening right now. Okay. So that's good because that's the second thing about that is the second aspect of dealing with what's happening is don't resist. Because some people are in denial, some people are in resistance, some people are like there are some parts of us we are proud of, and there are some parts of us uh, ये नहीं होता तो अच्छा ही होता. Can you just acknowledge and accept everything about life? Everything.
Not always.
Uh, so that is the invitation. Can you for the purpose of discovering life, if there is resistance to something, can you park it for some time? Because you can only discover something when there is an attitude of openness and receptivity to something. If you are resisting something, then you cannot uncover it, discover it. So that's the second question that you ask yourself. What is my relationship with what's happening right now? So that's what Raki is going to write. First is what is happening right now. Second is what is my relationship with what is happening right now. So resistance will not allow for curiosity. One of the themes, all of you, was we want to be curious. But if you're resisting something, if you don't want to accept something, if you're in denial of something, you cannot be curious about it. So acknowledge that ये है तो है. It could be a life situation, it could be a some part of you, whichever part you don't feel even good about. I spoke about my addiction to pornography. That relationship changed only when I accepted it. Till the time I was ashamed of it, it had great power over me. So accept. And if you can go a little step forward, whenever you can, don't try to be compassionate and kind towards it. That part is also trying to do something. It is also struggling. It's like a small child. It's trying to do something. So rather than be judgmental towards some part of you, resist some part of you, just look at it with kindness and allow it the space to be. Then there is a possibility of being curious about what's happening. Okay? What's happening right now? Second is what is my relationship to it? The relationship should be of acceptance, acknowledgement, and if possible, even kindness and compassion. Third, which is what the theme has been for all of you, which is curiosity. So I'm going to give you a few questions around whatever is happening in your life right now, and you can write down whatever comes to you whenever you're using whatever to write down. When you bring into awareness what's happening in your life right now, what do you feel? When you bring into awareness what's happening in your life right now, what do you feel? And it could not be just one, it could be more than one feeling. So sometimes it can be just a cocktail of feelings, whatever it may be. We want some feeling words, sadness, anger, fear, pain, joy,
Calmer,
inspiration. Huh?
calmer and more composed to when you've identified. So just helps in knowing what's the problem and then I don't know, much better space to solve it.
Yeah, so this is not about solving. This is what I want to bring to your awareness. This is about being curious. Okay. So when you use the mind, then you're getting into problem solving solution. This is not about trying to find the solution. This is trying to be curious about what's happening and then seeing what emerges. Okay. So now we are on the third part, which is being curious about what's happening. So the first thing I asked you, when you bring into awareness what's happening, what are your feelings around it? Whatever they may be. Now I'm going to ask you another question, which some people may have that awareness and some people have lesser awareness around it, or some people don't have awareness about it. And that's either of it is perfectly fine. And I'm not going to ask you necessarily your answers. Where do you feel this in your body? Whatever is happening right now is creating some feeling for you. Where do you feel this in your body? Take note of it if you can get in touch with it. And you can note it down. Is it felt in the legs? Is it felt the pelvic abdomen? Is a space where a lot of feelings happen. Is it felt in the chest, the throat, the arms, the head? Take a moment and check. This is where life is. This is where what's happening in your life is showing up in the form of some movement in your body's energy. Are you able to sense it? Whenever I'm stressed, it happens in my legs, in my calf muscles, particularly my left calf muscles. Whenever I'm scared, I feel like I'm empty throat. I'm just giving you some examples to help you. Whatever is happening in your life right now, which is creating some feeling for you, are you able to sense how it's showing up in your body in the form of some sensation? If yes, take note of it and also you can write it down. Where do you sense it? And if you don't sense anything significant, that's also fine. You don't try to force yourself to, for the sake of giving an answer to. Be authentic. That's the most important part of this inquiry. To be authentic. Be real. No, I'm not going to ask you to share anything that you don't want to share. So whatever is happening in your life right now, what kind of thoughts does it bring? Whatever is happening in your life right now, what kind of thoughts come up on account of what's happening in your life right now? This thought, that thought, that thought. You're aware of these thoughts, write them down. Along with thoughts, you can write about what do you believe about yourself, what do you believe about others, what you believe about life, world. Those are also certain kind of thoughts. Okay. Question is, what's happening in your life right now? What kind of behavior does it evoke in you? What do you notice yourself doing given what's happening in your life right now? So now I've just asked you 4 questions for curiosity. When you do this, and I'm giving you a tool you can use for your own self and be your own therapist. I've just given you 4 questions. What are you feeling? What are you sensing? What are you thinking? And what are you doing? But you can ask yourself so many more questions to be curious around whatever is happening in your life right now. What is it doing to my relationships? What is it doing? Blah, 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 blah. You can go on.
It can sometimes create a lot of chaos in your mind also when you're asking yourself so much questions, so many questions. I don't know, I think it happens with me sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm someone who talks to my mind a lot if I'm not doing anything, and it does somewhere create sometimes a lot of.
So the chaos happens when you're in it. When the whirlpool, then the chaos happens. But what you're doing by asking this question, you're stepping out of the chaos and checking into the chaos key holder. Are you getting what I'm saying? When I'm identified with my thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, then I'm part of the chaos and it's like, but when you're asking yourself a question, a simple question, what's happening right now? And then you start registering it. By virtue of that same question, you have stepped out of it. Like you can say, I'm angry. Or you can say, I'm noticing anger is rising up in me. It's how you frame it. In the first, you are anger. In the second, you're experiencing anger. You are not the anger. So the second is stepping away and to be able to see. If you can see something, then you are not, the word that they use in psychology, you're not blended with it. You're not fused with it. You have to step out of it. Only then you are able to be curious about it. Okay, the last question to wrap it up. Look at whatever you have written. What's happening in your life right now? What are you feeling about it? Where do you sense something in your body? What is it? What are your thoughts coming out of it? What behavior comes out of it? As you notice all of this, do you see any shift or change in you? Do you see something new emerging for you? Don't try to force it. See if something is changing in you on account of this inquiry and putting it out there. From the time you started doing this to now, Do you see any shift in your energy, in your feeling, in some new thought emerging for you, in some new insight? I don't know, whatever. Is something new emerging from you out of this curiosity? Not that you are trying to force it, but is something new emerging, changing, shifting? And if so, you can take note of whatever new is emerging. And also, whatever new is emerging, notice it in your body. Where do you experience that? Some newness, some shift in energy, some shift in feeling. Again, it doesn't have to be. I'm just inviting you. If there is some change, some shift from the time you started the inquiry to now, then take note of it. And generally, there will be because life is changing all the time. Okay, time for you to share, not necessarily what you have written, but your experience of doing this exercise. What did you notice? And the third question is, am I curious about what is happening right now? Yeah. Who would like to go first?
So it's crazy how, when we started, the things that I thought about, the same things existed, the same things existed now. But after this exercise, the impact is less on how I look at it. Like I don't feel as anxious.
And what do you think is the reason for lesser anxiety?
Because I was able to calm myself, focus on just this without, there are still distractions. I can still hear the fan whirring and some smells in the air, but overall, I focus my attention on the task at hand. It's a small thing, but I gave it as much as I could, maybe not 100%, but because I did, and yeah, that's why I'm like chuckling right now because I'm like, the impact of the thing is that technically it's the same. The weight hasn't changed of those two things, okay? But right now I feel it less.
Right. Right. I'm aware you both have to go.
Yeah.
Maybe you can just share
Sorry
your
about that.
experience and then. Yeah.
One thing that intrigued me about this was the fact that you said that, where do you feel these emotions? That is something that for me, I can't pinpoint right now, but I feel somewhere in the chest or the head, like some upper part of the body. But like how you say that it's tough, when you feel stressed, you can feel it in your nerves. I would love to have that clarity in my own body so that that you have that kind of understanding. Secondly, the questions that I answered, that told me that so feelings and emotions, what's happening right now, I want to know. And then the action that what I do about it, I wrote nagging my partner. So that is the awareness that I got. And okay, I should, be doing that later. And yeah, I never thought about it. Yeah, of course you think about it, but then writing it on the paper, it makes you kind of self-aware that you should do it a little less. So,
So I think the beauty of this is you're not trying to force yourself to do something.
yeah,
You're just being curious about it. And in that curiosity, you uncover something you didn't know.
yeah.
And then you get a realization that you didn't expect. It's different from problem solving or advising or this and that. It's just being curious and then something new emerges out of that. Sometimes nothing new has to emerge. It's just an emotion that needs to be felt, which has not been felt, and then it's gone. Yes, Kapil?
Yeah, I feel more relaxed because yeah, as let's say anxious, just because of identifying the uncertain emotions or the what I couldn't really pinpoint at. Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Why is it related? Where is it coming from? And that reveals certain things about myself that I'm maybe aware of, but not very conscious about. And yeah, that brings a certain level of calmness to it. see, okay, if that's the thing, I'm just more aware about it. Rather than being like in a black box kind of thing, why not?
It's like separating yourself from what's happening. So there's no awareness, no calmness, no clarity about what's happening. And also the process of writing it down, there is also a certain kind of objectification of whatever is happening. So thanks. Before you go, I want to tell you that my book, Labor of Love, is available. I wanted to read two passages from the book before I end, but I don't know whether you all have the time for it. I think it'll be less than 5 minutes. We should be able to write that. Okay.
Please do that.
Sure, sure. Chalo, okay.
The rest of us who can, we were left it.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much.
Picture.
Sorry, I have to move out for a while.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. You want to take a picture here?
Yeah, but the book, the book,
Yes, I know, yes. When you say first of all, but I'm saying, the door is open. Will you take me picture?
yes. Maybe we are, we are able to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me finish this.
wait, finish.
Okay, bye guys, thank you, bye. And call for all or leave studio?
And then.